Hello everyone, I hope you all are in the best of health. This is Dr. Umhani, and today I'm going to share with you the case analysis of how I solved a challenging case of advanced degenerative osteoarthritis with cervical radiculoneuropathy. The patient had been suffering from this condition for almost a year. She complained of severe knee pain, with a lot of swelling around the patella region. Walking had become extremely difficult for her. She had poor balance and often said, "My hands and legs twist on their own." She had tried everything, going from doctor to doctor, treatment to treatment, but there was no relief. And then, something amazing happened. Just 15 minutes after taking the homeopathic medicine, she was able to walk without support. She said to me, "Doctor, the tension that I used to in my nerves seems to have released. I feel relaxed and lighter now." After 7 days, you wouldn't believe it, 50% of her knee pain had disappeared. Her sadness and anxiety were gone. There was a visible boost of confidence. Even with this degenerative disease, she felt she could start again. She began stitching clothes on her machine, walking around the house, and doing her daily chores independently. She was so happy that she was no longer dependent on anyone. It's truly beautiful to see how homeopathy can transform lives. Just a week earlier, she was completely hopeless, and now, there was a unique glow on her face, a spark of motivation that changed her entire energy. As a physician, when you witness such positive transformation with just a tiny homeopathic pill, it uplifts your own spirit. You feel healing happening inside you as well. Now, coming to the case analysis, interestingly, I didn't use any repertory for this case. But at the end, when I reviewed everything, I selected just one rubric: mind complaining during menopause. And from that single rubric emerged the remedy that worked wonders for her, Bromatum. There are 3 to 4 aspects here where I found something characteristic in this case, and I would like to explain them to you. First, she repeatedly said these 2 lines, "Why should I lie to you?" and the second line, "Why should I hide anything from you?" When a patient keeps saying, "Why should I lie?" or "Why should I hide anything from you, doctor?" it often shows a defensive mind, someone who wants to prove their honesty because deep inside, they fear being misunderstood or judged. Psychologically, such a person is trying to convince themselves as much as the doctor that they're being truthful. It can come from guilt, insecurity, or a past experience where their truth wasn't believed. So, the repeated line isn't just honesty, it's a subtle plea for trust and acceptance. For this, there is a very appropriate rubric: mind, anxiety of conscience. It perfectly connects with her repeated lines, "Why should I lie to you?" and "Why should I hide anything from you?" because such expressions often come from an inner restlessness or guilt within the conscience, a constant need to prove one's honesty and clear one's heart before others. This was the first aspect we saw. Now, let's come to the second aspect that I observed. It was very typical, yet so mild that it required keen observation of the patient. Whenever I asked her a question, she would give an answer that was completely different from what I had asked. At first, I found it quite illogical. So, to confirm, I repeated the same question again, and once again, she gave me a different answer. Let me explain this to you. The patient said, "Doctor, whenever I hear a loud noise, my head feels numb. I don't talk to anyone, I isolate myself, I stay quiet for 2 hours, and then I feel better." I asked her, "How does this affect you?" She replied, "I lose my voice." I asked again, "How does that affect you?" And now she gave a completely different answer: "My neck becomes numb." Now you tell me, is it really possible that when someone else shouts, your voice goes away, even though you didn't even use your voice? This kind of confusing, misplaced answering didn't happen just once. She did this 3 to 4 times in our conversation. For this, there is a very apt rubric: mind answering incorrectly. When you observe this case carefully, you see that throughout, there's an element of irritation expressed both on the physical and mental levels. This irritation is the key focus we often see in potassium group patients. They are highly sensitive about their conscience, they cannot tolerate lies, they dislike gossip, and they have a strong inner sense of what is morally right and wrong. They genuinely try to live according to what they believe is correct. Their irritation becomes so intense that if someone speaks too loudly or harshly, they literally go numb. And when they sit quietly for 2 hours, that irritation and numbness begin to settle. This teaches us not only about the patient's sensitivity, but also about the doctrine of potassium, how potassium helps calm nerve irritation and bring peace to the system. These individuals possess a deep sense of high self-esteem, self-respecting. They dislike taking anyone's favors or help, no matter how difficult their situation may be. They prefer to work hard on their own and fulfill their needs by themselves. In potassium, there is always a strong sense of connection. Everything in them feels interlinked. That's why even their pathology shows connective suffering, where nerves, tissues, and emotions are all intertwined. In potassium bromatum, this connection takes a spiritual turn. There is a dependency on God. Whenever issues of security or money arise, they don't turn to people, they turn directly to God for help. Now a question may arise in your mind: why did I choose the rubric mind complaining during menopause? To understand this, we must first understand what menopause truly means. During the entire case taking, the patient kept complaining about her loss of productivity, her loss of ability to work. She said, "Earlier I used to handle the whole house alone. Now I am struggling even for a glass of water. I have to depend on someone. I have to ask, 'Please give me water,' only then I get it because I can't walk." Her productivity was gone. Her ability to work was gone. And this was her biggest emotional wound. So first, we must understand what productivity means in a woman's life, and only then can we understand the deeper meaning of this rubric. This rubric is not about ordinary complaining. It is about the pain of losing one's purpose, the frustration of watching your abilities slip away, the inner cry that says, "I want to do it myself, but my body is not supporting me." Understanding this gives energy, depth, and direction to the entire case, because menopause is not just a physical change, it is a powerful psychological shift where a woman feels her identity, her strength, and her productivity being challenged. And that is exactly why this rubric became the doorway to understanding her suffering at its deepest level. Let's understand menopause deeply through an example. Just like when there's an event, an appointment, or a follow-up you need to attend for your patient, you set a reminder in your phone. That reminder pops up in your mind about that event, helping you stay connected to your purpose. In the same way, within the female body, there is a reminder system that the Almighty has set for us, and this reminder comes every month. We call this reminder menses. Sometimes the mind doesn't realize how beautifully and perfectly our body and nature work together. A woman's body reminds her every month of her purpose. And why do we set reminders? To stay aligned with a purpose we are meant to fulfill. Similarly, this monthly reminder is nature's way of saying, your purpose is creation. To create and nurture life within you, the development of a fetus, and the sacred act of giving birth to a child. This is not about feminism or equality, it's about appreciating the role given to a woman, a role so precious, so purposeful, and so incomparable to any other in life. Female body becomes a rhythm, rising, falling, expanding, contracting like the tides that answer to the moon. Each month, nature gives her the power to build something from nothing, to transform silence into precious heartbeat. But this stage isn't only about childbirth, it's about the urge to create, to nurture ideas, homes, emotions, and dreams. Her hormones don't just shape her body, they shape her sensitivity, her intuition, her capacity to love and to suffer deeply. During these years, she lives for others and through others, giving pieces of herself to life around her. It's a phase of outward creation, of learning how love and sacrifice can coexist. Yet, the beauty of this stage lies not only in fertility but in the creative intelligence that blooms with it, the instinct to care, the ability to sense life in every small detail. Now let's connect this idea of productivity to its deeper meaning. The woman is blessed with power of creation, not by her own will but by the will of God. Just as we discussed earlier, productivity is not only about working or doing tasks, it's about the innate ability to create, to bring something new into existence by the will of God. And Almighty God gave this privilege to females, and who could embody that better than a woman? Take a simple example: give a woman just a few ingredients, and she'll turn them into a delicious, wholesome meal. From raw elements, she creates something nourishing and beautiful. In the same miraculous way, when she's given with just one drop of water a single seed of life, and within her womb, she creates a complete, living individual. That is the deep cycle of reproductivity and creativity, the sacred feminine energy that is blessed by God to transform the smallest fragment into fullness, the invisible into visible life. So today, we didn't just learn about productivity, we understood the essence of creation itself, the beautiful process through which learn the perfection of our Creator and the way He made each creation with perfection. Potassium element, Kali group, represents dependence, loss of strength, exhaustion, and need for support. It's a metal that easily reacts and needs to bond with something, like oxygen or bromine, to stay stable, symbolically matching her mental state of needing someone's support to function. Bromine, bromium, element represents degeneration, decline, and anxiety about loss of function, especially in glands, respiration, and energy. It's heavy, slow reacting, and linked to breakdown processes much like the slowing down and loss of vitality seen in menopause. Both potassium and bromium align with this case essence, a woman feeling her energy fading, dependence increasing, and productivity slipping away. Before we close today's session, I want to say this straight from the heart: every case, every patient, carries a hidden lesson for us as homeopaths. The more deeply we observe, the more beautifully homeopathy unfolds its holistic power of healing. If this case touched you or gave you a new perspective, do like, share, and subscribe to Mind Over Matter Homeopathy Simplified, because together, we're not just learning remedies, we're learning the art of healing. See you all in the next study session. Until then, stay inspired, keep healing, and remember, one positive change in your patient can ignite 1,000 within you.
हमेशा से मसला बना रहा। एक ज़माना था बीवी शौहर से परेशान, शौहर बीवी से परेशान, कभी सास का मसला, कभी किसी। आज के दौर में मामला ऐसा है, शौहर बीवी से, बीवी शौहर से तो परेशान है ही हैं, दोनों मिलके औलाद से परेशान हैं। दोनों किससे परेशान हैं? औलाद से। चाहे वो छोटे हों या बड़े हों। छोटे बच्चे सर दर्द देते हैं और बड़े बच्चे हार्ट अटैक देते हैं। आज औलाद की वजह से माँ बाप परेशान हैं। औलाद हमारी नहीं। माँ बाप की शिकायत क्या है? सुनते नहीं हमारा, एक बात नहीं सुनते। तू अल्लाह की सुनता, तू अपने मालिक की सुनता। तू अगर अपने मालिक की सुनता तो इनको अल्लाह ताला तौफीक देता तेरी सुनते। तूने इनको अल्लाह से जोड़ा नहीं, अल्लाह का फर्मा बरदार बनाया नहीं, तो अब तेरे पास बुनियाद क्या है कि ये तेरी बात सुने? जैसा तू नाफरमान है, तेरी नाफरमानी की नहुसत, उसके असरात इनमें आए। ये तेरा नहीं सुनते क्योंकि तूने अल्लाह से इनको नहीं जोड़ा, ये तुझसे जुड़ेंगे नहीं। इस दौर में बच्चों के बिगाड़ से माँ बाप परेशान हैं। क्या छोटे, क्या बड़े, क्या लड़के, क्या लड़कियां, हर एक के अपने रंग बिरंगे मसाइल हैं और माँ बाप उनसे परेशान हैं। लेकिन इसकी जड़ कहाँ है? ये प्रॉब्लम आया कहाँ से? इसकी जड़ भी माँ बाप ही है। इसकी जड़ कौन है? बुनियादी जड़ माँ बाप है। लिहाजा सबसे ज़्यादा इसकी सज़ा माँ बाप ही को मिलती है दुनिया में। माँ बाप बच्चों को बिगाड़ते नहीं हैं, बिगड़ो ऐसा नहीं करते हैं। बहुत कम माँ बाप होते हैं जो इस तरह के होते हैं कि मैं भी बिगड़ा तू भी बिगड़ जा। बहुत कम होते हैं। बिगड़ा हुआ आदमी भी चाहता मेरी औलाद नहीं बिगड़े। लेकिन औलाद बिगड़ती क्यों है? बिगाड़ने से नहीं, औलाद उसको छोड़ देने से बिगड़ जाती। बड़ा सबब औलाद के बिगाड़ का क्या है? छोड़ देना उसको उनके हाल पर। और माँ बाप की यही गलती उनके लिए बाद में वबाल बनती है, दुनिया में भी और आखिरत में भी। वो बच्चों को उनके हाल पे छोड़ देते हैं, उनको बनाने की कोशिश नहीं करते। आप मामूली ज़मीन भी देखें, किसान अगर खेती ना करे, हल ना चलाए, उसमें कुछ बोए नहीं, उसके लिए बराबर निगरानी उसकी ना करें, वहाँ क्या होता है? कांटे उगते हैं वहाँ पे, ज़मीन एकदम ख़राब हो जाती है, सांप बिच्छू भी आते हैं उसके अंदर। उसको छोड़ दो, बस ख़राब हो जाता है।